everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your fourth The Rookie Season 5 episode review, it's crossover time, but, marketing, man. Let's just say that. Let's just say that before we get to the actual review. In all honesty, in terms of just this being a standalone rookie episode, I thought it was great. I thought it was really phenomenal. The way they kept the tension high. I think this was the second most tense episode I felt. Actually, no, wait. Yeah, no, the third most tense episode I felt since the season 3 premiere and the season 2 mid-season premiere. So this definitely ranks in third. But just because, like, again, it's amazing. It's not spoiled that, yeah, Rosalind's in this episode. Once again, she kills it. She, like, really, like, this is, like, the furthest, like, true Rosalind that you'll ever see. You know, her on the outside, her fully in control, just how capable she is to really fuck with Nolan and our fellow officer. And I thought that actually was great. In terms of this being a crossover event, I feel like this morally feels like Arrow and the Flash's first crossover event, where it kind of felt like each episode was a standalone nature. It had like some sort of through line, but in reality, it was just meant to be kind of standalone. At the end of the day, it's not bad, because remember, when it comes to like these certain things, is that when you eventually comes to promotion, home media, and binging reasons, you want to have a self-contained episode. Or make it seem like its own episode. I feel like they kind of misconstrued the crossover event hypeness a bit. It kind of felt like there was going to be more of that, but I'll get to more about that in the review itself. But overall, for me, in terms of a rookie episode, it was absolutely great. Really amazing. All hands on deck for this one. And as for it being part of the crossover event, I will have to reserve my thoughts fully until we get to Tuesday's episode of Feds. But for right now, being part one of a crossover event, it kind of felt a little bit more like we kind of got most of the crossover moments in the promo. But I'll get to more about that in a second. But anyway, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So we begin, Bailey and her fellow firefighters are responding to an emergency call in an abandoned house, manor, whatever you want to call it. This looks like a manor to me. They look around, it's pretty abandoned, but they find no signs of anyone trying to struggle for help. Bailey does overhear a voice in the distance. She goes into an empty room. She walks around. She eventually falls into a manhole-sized hole, finding herself in a metal container. And it's a little bit dire for herself because there's a grate eventually pops in, blocking her out from escaping. And then we all knew, like, she knows, like, instantly this is Rosalind, like, she's come back, she's finally returned. She calls in Nolan to let him know that, yeah, Rosalind's back. I'm stuck in this manhole. Her fellow firefighters try to get her out initially, but one of them, like, immediately just goes too fast into it, gets electrocuted, and I believe is nearly dead, or just basically his hands are so fucked up. And yeah, realizing, yeah, this is Rosalind's true master plan, and, you know, now it's like a matter of how the hell did they really go into that. So it's all hands on deck, you know, Lopez, Harper, Chen, Bradford, Aaron, Nolan, Celia, everyone's just there. Everyone's just going here. There's no plot A, there's no plot B. There really is. Everything's hands on deck with this situation. They arrive there. Well, first Nolan, Bradford, Lucy, and Celia. They arrive first. They're assessing the situation. Rosalind has prepared this to a T. Like, she's really booby-trapped every single inch of this tank, and she's just really ready to, like, you know, for whatever they think of next. Nolan, knowing his past history with Rosalind, he knows, like, yeah, this entire house is probably bugged, so anything they can verbally agree on in terms of, like, a plan to get Bailey out isn't going to work, because, you know, Rosalind's plan way too far ahead into this. So he meets up with Bradford in the car, discussing, like, yeah, they need to find a way to get Bailey out without Rosalind knowing, because they'll know, like, yeah, she's probably, like, multiple steps ahead of them. Lopez and Harper backed them up on this, and it's funny how, like, we had a couple of funny moments in the episode. It was a mostly serious episode for us, but it's like the lighthearted, like, you know, it's a chuckle in the darkness type of thing, where Chen comes in, like, says everything the other four has already said it before, and I'm like, oh, I'm just repeating information. You guys got this already, didn't you? And they're like, yep. Harper and Lopez have to step back so they can go figure out, like, because Rosalind has no knowledge of construction and welding, all this sort of intricate workings that, yeah, they know, like, okay, yeah, so Rosalind needs to have, like, another accolade, another, right-hand person working alongside her this time around. So they need to find that person. So they're going to try and see if anything else in their previous histories have been, fits this MO. So they head out, they take Aaron alongside with them to have some actual cop enforcement over there. So they head out back to the station to go figure that out. Nolan finds a blind spot in the corner of the house. They first attempt to cut it through with a saw. However, there are spikes coming out of beneath the floor of the tank for Bailey. So she's about to get penetrated. Not like that, but you know what I mean. They stop the saw. Thankfully, it's enough to, it wasn't that deep enough for her to get punctured, but it's pretty serious. Like, Rosalind's really fought ahead this time around. So they decide to, like, continue going, but, like, just mildly, slowly removing the floorboards. Trying to get in without letting Rosalind know, or letting the motion sensor go off. While they're trying to, like, realize what to do next, I think at some point a water tank bursts inside of there, and it's starting to rise, and they just estimate they'll probably have like 3 hours before the water would raise Bailey up all the way to the electrical current, like killing her. So they're kind of on a time clock here. However, Nolan can't really focus about that because he gets a call from Rosalind herself. Telling him that we're going to play a little game over here. Nolan's going to back away from the rest of the cops, kind of like, leave the area without any sort of, like, suspicion on him. So, and also, again, considering the fact that he's being watched, like, Nolan really has to, like, act his way out of this. He heads outside. Rosalind's giving him orders of, to just dump into his weapons, dump his badge, dump everything that would identify him to the LAPD. Makes him go into a car with a weird, demonic stuffed teddy bear. That's going to give me nightmares for a week. So they continue onwards. So he drives off and leaves the others behind. Harper and Lopez are digging through everything, trying to figure out what the heck is the connection here, who could, Rosalind be teaming up with. They only get one similar case. I forgot how they get the connection. I apologize. I know eventually this is the only kind of the feds crossover portion of the episode where Laura and Brendan show up to kind of help them, like, try to, like, ID a potential suspect that could be in connection with Rosalind based on similar, MLs and similar, methods used. So they assist each other on that front. But meanwhile, Nolan is trying his best to try and figure out how to alert everyone else about his location. He purposely gets into, like, nearly a street fight, not like Street Fighter, but, like, close enough. And Rosalind knows, like, oh, you're trying to play that game on me, trying to, like, alert the cops by creating a scene. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought ahead of that. She leaves out these chemical particles that if they contact with water, it would create an explosion. But Bailey knew about that already, so she dives below cover. She's protected for now, but it's Rosalind's already filled the entire tank with potential fire starters. So. That was just a baby's throw, so she can instantly throw everything and Bailey's dead. So Nolan's really got to figure out a way to get out of this, which is simple. He just knocks out the guy. However, he manages to drop a business card informing him of his location. Like, point to the fiddle, the guy calls in to complain about Nolan. So now they're looking for the car, they're looking for the vehicle, they're looking for Nolan all around. But Rosalind's already planned for this, so she takes Nolan to a parking lot where he has a car transfer. Like, I don't really know why. Like, again, all of this so far is, like, very luckily Rosalind's plan goes to a T. Like, she somehow meticulously planned out that the cars would take this amount of seconds to get to the parking lot, and so if Nolan has to get out before then, otherwise his cover is blown. And also, when Nolan does leave in the other van, literally he passes by a police car. Regardless of what you see, when you bend over or when you turn the corner, like, no matter what, Smithy was gonna see Nolan. He just didn't pay attention. So damn you, Smithy, you could have really saved all of our bacon. But not really, but you know what I mean. So sadly, Nolan's plan fails, so now he has no choice but to go to Rosalind directly. Meanwhile, back at the house, everyone's just trying to, keep Bailey calm, keep her secure. She's trying to test out how long she can hold her breath in order to, practice a bit in case she does really need to do so. She asks about Nolan's location. Lucy was about to tell her that, Rosalind has him, but Bradford decides to, not inform her of that because he believes that if she does know this information, she'll get agitated, she'll use up too much energy, worrying about Nolan, that she wouldn't be focusing on keeping herself alive. So And again, smart thing on Bradford's front, you know, obviously he's like, for some reason, the most common situation. But I do appreciate that Lucy is there, kind of like, you know, she was a victim of Rosalind before, and she doesn't want Bailey to go through the trauma that she went through. So definitely her being there, her presence, and, you know, does give her Bailey an advantage that the Chen didn't have last time around when she was in that situation. I want to say, yeah. So eventually they find out that the proposed person who used this method of, like, you know, trapping people in a barrel and like using similar methods of, you know, water and everything. They find a link to a warehouse that might have dropped off similar construction materials. So our three officers and the two feds head out there to go and stake out the place, see if they can find anything. They do find the blueprints to the entire barrel itself. Aaron gets a little bit of a jump scare when he finds that, yeah, it was tested out before with another individual who sadly already passed away. They're looking around trying to figure out more clues. They find the proposed welder, the maker of the barrel. They try to chase him down, but he's already prepared. He sets up the building to explode as he makes his getaway. So the five of them head outside, knowing that, okay, we may not have gotten him, but we do have the blueprints to the tanks, and we also figure out the private generator that's powering that tank is at a specific point, which thankfully Harper has really good photo memory, I guess, and was able to like ascertain the location before the building blow up. So they have at least that, so they at least have a chance to save Bailey even without the guy's help. Nolan arrives at a very fancy hotel, house, which I'm like, damn, I didn't know Rosalind can actually afford this. Like, you know, how does Rosalind get her money? I don't know. I really don't know. Rosalind's there all decked out, ready for, you know, her moment. Apparently this entire plan was to, this is basically, I tweeted this out on Twitter before I went live, that this episode kind of made Rosalind the Joker to Nolan's Batman. And, you know, this plan definitely had echoes of the Joker, as her plan is to get Nolan to kill her, to like prove that she can even make one of the most noblest, you know, honest cops on the force resort to killing her in order to get what he wants, which again is pretty subtle. Like, you know, if anyone's seen the Dark Knight back in 2008, like, you know what I'm talking about. So Nolan's obviously torn about this, and he doesn't want to kill her in cold blood, just to protect Bailey, but at the same time, like, Bailey's in moral peril. Like, whoever's controlling the remote really will only release Bailey once Rosalind's dead. So until that happens, like, you know, Nolan has no choice here. So Nolan tries to negotiate his way out of this, but Rosalind's like, no, you're not ruining this moment. This is perfect. This is the perfect moment for me to have my final plan, my final word, my final say. So she makes Nolan strip and change into a tuxedo for the sake of dinner. God damn it. We head back to the house. They thankfully cut through the floorboards, so they see the actual rim of the tank, but the tank is really impenetrable, so not even chopping it with brute force is going to be enough. So their plan is that once they shut up the generator, the electricity will be off, so they can saw their way through the grate so that they can maybe save Bailey. But of course, obviously, them trying any of that will probably set up the rest of the explosion. So Bailey has to practice holding her breath longer, so that just in case if it does take a longer time, that she'll have the opportunity to try and get away. I want to say, yeah, so once Nolan and Rosalind sit down for a nice quaint dinner, weirdly enough, Nolan basically asks her, like, why are you doing this? Like, you got out, you literally escaped, you pulled off a great escape. Why the fuck did you come back to LA? And she's like, I'm bored. Like, I'm a celebrity around the world. Like, wherever I go, they'll know it's me. Like, I cannot play my game internationally because everyone knows about me. It's kind of hard for someone like her to, like, you know, try to make a new beginning. Because, again, that type of person that she is, she doesn't want to stop killing. She enjoys the fun of things, the fun of, you know, torturing her victims and putting them through the psychological test. She doesn't want to give that up. And, you know, where else can she go than not back to Nolan? And again, it kind of felt weird because, like, it felt like the way the last time we saw her ended was kind of like reminding, oh, she's targeting Lucy now, but no, she just goes back to Nolan, which, again, it makes sense. I felt like it was a little bit of a missed opportunity for this episode not to have, like, a proper showdown between Lucy and Rosalind. Like, yeah, we got the scene with them in the season 3 premiere. We got that scene with them meeting each other face to face since the barrel incident. But you know, Rosalind never, but Lucy never had a proper final showdown with her. So I felt like, and again, I'm not trying to play it to the Chenford fanatics because like there was like a freaking, like a freaking bad Photoshop where it's like, where someone put Tim's name instead of like time in the last episode's ending. And I was like, bro, you're really like, honestly, it would have made for an interesting concept, to be honest with you, because on again, this is like how freaking crowded my fucking Twitter feed is right now with Chenford stuff, is that people were speculating that Rosalind's disguise, she was originally meant to kidnap Tim, but because her and Chen were off doing the undercover thing, she had to settle for Chris. Again, very interesting theory. Will we actually get the payoff for that? Probably not, because, you know, you'll see in a bit why we'll probably never get the payoff for that. But honestly, again, before we get back to the actual episode itself, like, I felt like it would have been, like, yes, Nolan and Rosalind did start it off, but Lucy never got to really have a final showdown with her, which may have been a missed opportunity, but, you know, it is what it is. The writers know what to do. I trust their faith with anything. So the generator's caught up. They're sawing it in. Bradford attempts to like try and use his brute man strength to like swing an axe at the barrel, but it's not really working. It's a test against time. Also, because Rosalind's like, you know, time's running out. Like, you know, your friends just caused all the chemicals to explode, so you got a limited time. So you can save her right now. Just kill me, and that's about it. You can be reunited with the love of your life in a matter of minutes if you just kill me. And, you know, Nolan's waiting because, like, he knows his friends are going to do it. He knows his friends are going to try and get something done. But once time kind of, you know, starts to, like, window down, it seems like he was about to shoot her. But no, he doesn't. He just doesn't have the courage to, like, to kill her because it's not in his morals. It's just not in his heart to kill someone for that reason. And even Rosalind was like, oh, we were so close. You just killed the woman you love. And yeah, Nolan just sheds a tear because he knows, like, yeah, without his knowledge of what's going on in the other scene, like, for him, he's like, yeah, she's dead. He lost her. And then, so yes, but however, so they get the grate open. Celia goes in to go save her. She brings her out. And for a moment, and again, I respect the editor, respect to the composer for this episode, for the scene where honestly I thought for a moment, like, are they gonna kill off Bailey? I'm like, dude, like, you're really gonna like put Noah into like a darker path this season. I mean, not like a darker path, but like, you're really gonna put him for the ringer this season. But nope, she's alive, thank God. All the training paid off, so she's safe, she's all good to go. But that's when Lucy lets her know, like, yeah, like, you know, Rosalind has Nolan. So all the focus is now on Nolan, who manages to arrest her properly. Of course, he's like been monotone since, like, he's just at this point in his knowledge, Bailey's gone. So it's like he's just like, now, like, I'm just gonna bring you back to prison, and, you know, I'll focus on the rest later. However, someone snipes her out, so she's killed. Nolan tries to look around for the killer, but, you know, he doesn't really find anything, and he's just looking at Rosalind's dead body, you know, eyes wide open, realizing that, you know, regardless of everything she was planning, she still got what she wants. She was killed. So Nolan's like kind of, I'm guessing, a little disappointed that she won't be able to like face true justice and like actually spend time for her actions. So Nolan just stands at the foot of the house, just waiting for cops to show up. Everyone shows up to get him. Thankfully, him and Bailey have a reunion shot. That was pretty sweet. That, you know, they're reunited. They're all good to go. But everyone else convenes on Rosalind's dead body. Lucy can't believe it's over. Like, you know, Rosalind is finally dead. The nightmare is finally over. And, you know, she's still worrying about, like, well, what about her accomplices? You know, like, her real plan. Like, it's, you know, this isn't it. Like, there has to be more to her plan. But Bradford's like, you know what? Take the victory, you know. She's dead. She's gone. She will never personally haunt us again. That's the we know. Again, TV shows have always found ways to bring back dead characters for, like, one final hurrah. So I don't even think this is the last of Rosalind, but we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. So yeah, even though, like, yeah, there's still the big question of, like, her accolade, the guy that they couldn't get back at the warehouse, and also if there's anyone else trying to, like, you know, finish up her work, you know, there's a lot of big question empty holes. And conveniently enough, Gray just turns around and is like, oh, here comes the feds to help. I'm like, where the fuck were y'all? Like, if Rosalind Dyer is one of your most wanted, where the fuck were you the last episode? Like, again, besides Laura and Brendan, like, we literally, like, that was my one problem with, like, my real one problem. I had, like, a missed opportunity and a problem with this episode. Like, you advertise this as a crossover, but Brendan and Laura's part was just the same as, you know, Garza and Laura from last week, where yeah, they were there, they did help, but it wasn't like when you mean a crossover, it's like you bring in both casts into the same. And again, probably COVID, like they didn't want to expose all the cast members together. That's what I was thinking, like it's so soon that we're gonna get like a proper crossover. This didn't really feel like it, in my opinion. Like for me, it felt like last week's episode. Except they were there a little bit, maybe longer than like a minute more, and that was about it. Like, that's literally all they wrote. We'll see how the Feds do it next on Tuesday. If like the more rookie characters going to show up on that show, we'll see how that goes. But again, I'm going to say most of the crossover review part for the Feds episode, so go check that out there. But for right now, in terms of like the Feds' part in this episode, it was very lacking. It didn't feel like a true crossover event. But yeah, so the episode ends with the Feds showing up, ready to kind of take over the investigation from there, as they will be the ones to continue where the hell Rosalind left off with the LAPD. But the episode ends with Nolan, Bailey. They don't care. They're together. They're happy. They're alive. That's all that matters, and that's where the episode ends. And part one of the supposed crossover event comes to a close. Yeah, again, like in terms of like a standalone rookie episode, this was great. This was phenomenal. I thought this definitely was the third, I think one of the most well produced episodes of the whole series so far in terms of just being a standalone rookie episode. This was, the tension was high. The question if Bailey was going to make out of it, if Nolan was going to actually give into what he needs to do to save Bailey, or doing the best that he was as a person, what was going to out-trump the other. And Rosalind, once again, an amazing antagonist. It was a damn shame for her to die. I don't think it's the end for her. I think she'll have a final hurrah from beyond the grave at some point in the future, but for right now, it's just, damn, that's the end of her. Like, I'm going to miss her a lot. I'm going to miss her truly everything a lot. We need another Rosalind. We need another, like, recurring villain for these people. Because Rosalind was a really, like, a big shoe. Like, really a big shoe. Now she's got big shoes to fill. Someone's going to fill that shoe. But someone else. As for the crossover part, yeah, I was expecting more. I feel like when we got to the halfway mark and we still didn't see any Feds characters, I started to realize, well, are they going to show up? I mean, you advertise this as a crossover event, and the promo kind of simulates that they were going to have more scenes together. And then I realized, well, technically, we didn't see, like, proper rookie characters with the rookie Feds characters at all during the promos. And I was like, damn, I think we're just not going to get it. And yeah, again, Brandon Laura's part of the episode was like, it was necessary, but it didn't feel like crossover nature. It felt like just what the shows were doing the last 3 weeks, where like characters pop into the other show for an appearance. That's about it. Which again, it's cool because you get to see your favorite show and hopefully your second favorite show characters pop into each other. Again, it works in terms of theory, but when you advertise this as like a true crossover event, it just fell short. I'm comparing this more again to Arrow and Flash's first crossover event, where you have like a minor through line, but it's mostly two standalone things. Hopefully, again, I'll save the rest of my thoughts for Feds' episode review later this week. So go check that out later on Wednesday to hear my thoughts on the Feds episode, the crossover event. But for right now, in terms of just this being its own thing, this was great, absolutely amazing. I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up on that front alone. Crossover part, 1.5 thumbs up. Actually, screw it. It's one thumbs up on the crossover part. But just letting you know that. But let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the crossover episode-ish of the rookie with this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Let's have the conversation down there below. But I believe that's going to do for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 5th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally in What's in the Two besides our rookie episode reviews, we're currently doing the Rookie Feds episode review each and every week after Brand New Episodes on Tuesday nights on ABC. We're also doing DC Stargirl episode reviews each and every week after Brand New Episodes on the CW. Walker episode reviews each and every week after Brand New Episodes on the CW as well. And also Walker Independence after Brand New Episodes on the CW once again as well. I didn't put any dates on that because right now there's a whole thing. I said this before on yesterday's episode, where right now the status of my provider, Verizon Fios, with Nexus Star, which is one of the parent companies for the CW, which runs all the programming for those shows. Currently, there is no CW. There's no Channel 11 programming on Fios right now. So this week, or probably going forward until they renegotiate or figure it out, like, there might be a chance where we might get delayed, where all the episode reviews will be punted back a day officially until this all resolved. Again, I hope they resolve things before we get to that point. Again, a really great thing about the CW is that you can always watch for free only on the CW app or the CW.com. Again, this is not an advertisement. It is what it is. We'll see how it goes. But if you don't care about the rookie / the rookie event and this crossover event, first of all, come back on Wednesday morning for the second part of the crossover event review with the Rookie Feds' episode on this supposed matter. But if you don't care about the rookie, you're in luck. We'll be back next week for another episode review. We're back to normal. But yeah, again, this has been 162 from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode reviews live. Please also ring the bell for notification. And please also follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you rookies out there of the Rookie Nation, I'll see you all either on Wednesday or next week for the next reviews. But until we see each other again, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.